Hi guys, my name is Aksandwari from Design Plus Code, and today we are going to learn how to create a Bitcoin app from scratch in Figma. And I will show you how some of the techniques such as Glassmorphism and Neomorphism. Bitcoin have become a hot topic lately. So I was inspired by this idea and create this UI design. And this tutorial you will need from Figma community. I recommend to download iOS 15 UI kit from Joey Banks. You will also need crypto icon. You can download which icon you like, it's up to you. Also, you can find some inspiration in Figma community. People share their UI design and they have some guideline. If you want to go deeper from Figma community, there's a lot of free illustration that you can use on your design. As for me, I use Shape for my design. Shape is a browser apps that created by the team of Design Plus Code. For my design, I'm going to use this illustration from Camlink. Alright, let's get started. Let's start with create a frame. It's going to be 1600 by 1200. This is the size for Dribble. Let's add a gradient background. I'm choose blue background. This is the color system that I create for my design. And now create a frame. This one I'm going to choose for iPhone 13 mini. Let's set a corner radius for 50. Let's center it. For my screen, let's add a background blur. And I set the value for 60. This is the illustration that I like to add my own flavor. I like to use my own creativity and add some color. So this one I already prepared the component. So I'm going to copy and move in my frame. Now let's create a card. I'm gonna use a rectangle. Okay, let's resize 375 by 382. I'm gonna use white. I'm gonna move it. Now it's hiding, we don't see. Let's put the class card in the front of the character. This I'm gonna place at the bottom corner radius 50. I will set opacity 60%. I'm gonna use the background blur for 60. I'm gonna use stroke. Let's add linear stroke. The top, let's use white 60. And I'm gonna use overlay. The bottom, I'm gonna use 100% black like this. 1.5 thickness. For this card, I want to use a frame. So I'm going to press on Option Command J to create a frame. Let's add a title here. Discover a new way to invest and the center. Text style from the community. I'm going to use large title. Center. I'm going to use spacing 80. For this text, I want to use overlay. It creates an interesting contrast and color with the glass. And I'm gonna add black again. Use overlay 50%. So we want to see more contrast for the text. Then let's create a button. I'm gonna start with a rectangle, height 50, corner radius 50. Let's center my button. For my button, I want to use some neomorphism. I will use white, 60%, stroke. Let's create the same style as this card. So I can just copy, click on your mouse, copy property, and then go select your button and paste property. And from here, I'm gonna add drop shadow. I'm gonna create 5 and 5. blur 20. And for this color, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use purple shadow. Okay, this stroke is going to use 1 thickness and 10%. Now add drop shadow, but this one we're going to use light color. We're going to use white, set it for 40. We're going to use the opposite, -5, -5, blur 20. So now we don't see much, make it stronger, 60%. We don't use background blur. We're going to add another drop shadow, like, and here it's going to be 2 to 10%. I'm going to use 30%. Now we can see more of the shadow. All right. Let's add text in the bottom. Okay, let's add text. Get started. So I'm going to make a frame for my button. I'm going to select my rectangle and get started. Option Command G. Create a frame. Okay, now I can center it. The text I want to use, and let's add black again. Let's put it 50%. Use overlay. Now, my illustration, I want my card to hide behind arms. So I already prepare. Let's name the layer. This is gonna be butt. This is gonna be card. Now it's our component. I cannot move my card inside of my component. It's not gonna work. So I have to detach instance, and then I can move my card inside. Let's put this. But before that, I want to move my illustration. Now it's better. So my text is missing the contrast. I'm gonna put it out 100. Okay, now they have more contrast. All right, my first screen is finished. Let's create analytic screen. Let's duplicate the frame. I'm gonna group those frame. I create auto layout 50, spacing 50. This one I'm gonna name analytics. I'm going to delete this one. I'm gonna give my card. Select frame. I want it 20%. I'm gonna add effect. Set value for 20. I'm gonna use drop shadow. No, blue 60. Okay, by 30. By to 50%. Okay, this is my shadow. And let's add stroke. Use white. Let's set the value for 60%. And use 1.5 thickness. Inside is fine. All right. On this design, we don't need this button. We can delete it. One the size of 236. All right. Fill. Set the value for 40%. Set the background blur for 60%. Stroke, I'm gonna use it white, solid white, 60%. Opacity, just normal. Let's go to the left panel, click on Asset, search for navbar. Okay, to the top. And here we can, for device, let's select iPhone 10 and new. I use UI kit and to guide me. And then I can do manually. Let's hide this. We don't need this part. Detach instance. For a Bitcoin apps, it's not necessary to add a status bar. For me, I'm going to remove it. This one, I don't want the auto layout, so I'm going to I'm just going to ungroup. Control Command G. Shift Command G. Okay. And this tile, I wanna position it. I want to place in the center. Space between this on 1, 2 space between. I'm going to pack center. Okay, I'm gonna use pack. I'm going to position this title manually using Option key, and then I use Bitcoin. I'm gonna use the color system. Search for label white. Title 2 bold. Okay. 31. This the 1 2. This chevron. Let's change color for white. I use label white. 1 is for guide me. Okay, now it's center. For this text we don't need. Just yeah, we're gonna let's add balance. Let's add balance. Let's add balance. SD. This is gonna be large title, and select USD. I'm gonna change this for title 3. Choose from auto center. It's okay, center. Then let's add puffy. Oh, this one I'm gonna use regular call out. Put it here. Next, let's percentage. Here I want to create a frame. I want this raise. For this raise, I want to put green. Search for color system, use green. Okay. Select this layer. I want to change for green color on the color side. And here we don't see much, is lack of contrast. I'm gonna create a frame fill white 60%. Corner just 8. Put center. Okay. Here is caption 1. Select frame. I'm gonna add here, and this I'm gonna use system color white. Okay. Select those 2 layers together. I'm going to use Command C group and use and add auto. Let's do parking center. This one I'm gonna use spacing between. Okay. Title, balance together. I use spacing 10, and let's say spacing 20. And this frame is the card again. I'm gonna copy this rectangle, copy style. Option Command C, copy. And I'm gonna paste on this frame. Option Command V to paste. 236. Okay, the card, let's change the height for 236. Change the height for 236. And then this frame, let's hide. Paste Option Command V to paste here. So now my frame have the same property as this rectangle. So this triangle I can delete. Constraint, I'm gonna use left and right. Try to do the responsive. Okay, so my title, I want it center, top center. Okay, if I, okay, but this one is wrong. It's not. Okay. No, I'm gonna use your content. It's gonna be center. Yeah, it's gonna be space between. Okay, space between. Okay, let's make spacing for 30. Next step, let's add a chart. But first, I will show you how to do it from scratch. Let's start creating the actual graph. For this one, I already create a component. We're going to just duplicate this layer and I'm going to detach instance and I'm going to add the background so that I can see. I can use different color. We're going to create a new one, so I'm going to hide this one for now. Let's use pen tool. So I'm going to start from here. I'm going to play with the value. Sometimes the value can go up and down, sometimes it's flat. So you can just do random. I finished the lines. I'm going to put it 2 pixels. I'm going to add endpoint. I want it wrong. Yes. All right. Let's create an actual constraining element. I'm going to duplicate this layer. So let's name it line. And this one, I name containing. But first, I have to close the path. Let's edit the path. Click on this icon. So let's continue. Select P for pen. So I'm followed a rectangle here. All right, and then let's add fill. I'm gonna use linear white, and the bottom is gonna be white with 0 opacity and no stroke. And press on edit mode again. Press on enter key. I'm just gonna select those points, not from the edge. All right. So I'm gonna make 3 pixels. Make it round. Same thing with line. I'm going to use stroke for white. Press enter for edit object. I'm gonna select under point and put it at 3 pixels. And then I can move the background. So that's it. Let's name it Ethereum. So let's Bitcoin graph. Prepare a component. Now it's ready in a component we can use. I'm searching for the Bitcoin. Make spacing for 20. Now let's create date 1 hour. Let's duplicate. I'm going to group these together and create auto. All right, let's select fonts. Let's use the FF Pro rounded size 15. I'm gonna add space 55. For those fonts, I'm gonna use black overlay and gonna add more layer, add overlay again. So let's duplicate the fonts. 5. But this one's gonna be 1 day. This is gonna be 1 week, and this is gonna be 1 month, and this is gonna be 1 year. Let's center. Okay. For this one, I'm going to add button. Add fill Bitcoin blue button. Press A. Yeah, I'm gonna name it button. I'm gonna use white. Select frame button, use auto like spacing like, yeah, I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna add shadow. I'm gonna add some drop shadow. Let's copy the same color. Let's be the same color for the shadow. Drop shadow again, and this one is gonna be the opposite color, white. -5, no, 10 blur. Okay, I want to see if it's center. It's match. Okay, let's put back 100%. Okay, now search for, okay, I'm gonna use this one, table center. I don't use, we can hide. We don't use this tile. Let's change for tile 2. I'm gonna name it transaction. All right, let's continue with the content. We can copy this. We can duplicate this. Okay. We're going to just detach instance. I don't need this separator. Then let's duplicate this label. On the right side, it's gonna be the Bitcoin value. Text style is gonna be regular subheadline. No shadow. And the color is gonna be white. It's gonna be text alignment right. Let's change title for bought Bitcoin. Text style is gonna be bold title 3. Style is bold body. Use auto width. This one text alignment center. Text alignment left. Title 3. Let's go to asset. Search for icon. This icon I'm gonna use 20 size. I'm just gonna use a symbol. Use detach instant, auto high, auto width. Let's use label white. Color style secondary. This one I'm gonna use primary. And group this one. I'm going to group them together and add auto layout. Base 0 for now. Caption 2, not bold but regular caption 2. Right, regular caption 2. This one I'm going to use space between. This is going to be left and right. Space between 6. And this one, group them together and add auto layout. And this, I'm gonna group those two together. And let's do, I don't need to use space because I have already good space here. Here it's minus, let's change the number here. I can just put some random. Here, let's add date. For example, Jan 10, 2022. Okay, let's say November 18, 2021. This space, let's put 15. Let's name it trade. Let's put some space between those table. 10. Okay, let's add new table row here. Duplicate. Okay. I want to add a toolbar in the bottom. I want to put button. Let's create a rectangle frame, not inside of here, but put it outside. I'm gonna put white for now. The size is gonna be 375, 83. Center, bottom, white. I'm gonna use 60%. effect, add background blur, set value for 60. I'm gonna use stroke white inside. And now let's add button. My button's gonna be a rectangle 145 by 44, and for the corner radius I'm gonna put 30. For the color I'm gonna use blue from Bitcoin color stein, and from here I'm gonna add effect, shadow 10, it's gonna be 25 to A1C, 50%, 50%. All right, and add drop shadow again, and let's do the opposite color. Use white, -10, -10. This is gonna be 100. I want to add some. Let's choose linear. Okay, this is gonna be white. Here's gonna be black. Use overlay. I use solid white 20%. This one I'm going to copy property. I can use shortcut Command PV and click on frame, Command. Okay, I'll copy this style for the frame. I'm going to copy the property for the frame. I'm going to add frame. Option Command G. I'm going to add text. Let's say by. Okay, gonna change my font for body, bold, center, text alignment center. Okay, select this button and we're going to copy property. Option Command C for copy, paste, frame. Let's name button. I'm going to copy. Let's select this together. Add group and then add auto layout. I'm going to use horizontal direction. Spacing 20. And it's going to be center. Spacing 28. This is called tool. Okay, for this button, I change color for red. And let's change by for cell. This one I forgot to add overlay. Okay. One thing is missing. We forgot to add the home indicator here. Go to assets. Search for home indicator. Okay. Okay. Let's position center and bottom. I'm going to use customize home indicator. I'm going to use overlay so that it go well with white. A little bit on the top. All right, we finished with this screen. So let's go to the next screen. All right, let's do the portfolio screen. Duplicate this frame. Let's position it in the center. All right. So for this one, I'm gonna name portfolio. This one I will leave it. This I will keep my title, my card. All right. I want to create my card. I will size for 319 by 126. Centered. This I don't need. I'm going to delete this one. Okay, I use padding for 28 and then portfolio title 1. For this one, I'm gonna use black and use overlay. Add black with overlay. Okay, for this card, let's 30. Spacing 30. this, I'm gonna use blue color for my card. This one. And stroke linear. I'm gonna put 10 instead. Let's play with this again. 50. All right. So my text, I'm going to do the opposite side. Just here, use 20. Here's gonna be 22. Text here, I'm going to change just to white. Style, it's title 1. Change the text alignment. This I'm gonna use space. Okay, now it's 2020. Good. All right. This graph we don't need, just delete. Let's call like, let's change text style. It's gonna be subhead. Your balance is equivalent. This I'm gonna use USD. Change color for white. 10. We can search for access symbol. Let's search for down arrow. Click on this icon. Command C for copy. So just paste here. And now it's too big. I want it smaller. So I have to break. I will go add space. I'm gonna use content space. Let's name it balance. So group those two layers. Add to auto layout. Spacing 10, 20. Okay. This one gonna be profit. Okay, let's name profit. Let's say I make 10. Well, you can just put some random number. Monthly. Let's say I make 20% profit. I'll change color for green. Oh, it's too dark, this one. Yeah. Let's get to a button. We can just copy this button. That'd be great. Because we're gonna use the same. Receive. For this button, we can let's copy this property and hide this one. We can pass. Let's paste property on this frame, and this text gonna be center. It's gonna be center text alignment. I can this one just delete. Resize is for 148. So I'm gonna play here, it's better 148. For this button, I want to add arrow. Let's go to F7 symbol, search for arrow. Okay, I want this one. Command C for copy and paste, space. I want to duplicate this button and group horizontal direction. Spacing 30 for now. Let's search for arrow down. This one. Search for arrow down. Okay, paste here. I'm gonna change this tag for spacing 25 and it's 28. Okay, nice. So far so good. This button I'm gonna use 10 minus 6. Okay, 10. Let's delete this row. I'm going to duplicate this card, move here, positioning the button, let's say, and this card is gonna be 40. All right, this going to use here, and this one we're gonna change for packet. Spacing 10. Press by Go to Asset, Local Component. Use Bitcoin icon. Alright, Bitcoin icon and drag here. Text I don't need, I'm just going to delete. This one I'm going to use duplicate. Those two layers, group them and add vertical alignment. I'll put 0 for now. It's going to be Bitcoin. Title to this for BTC. Let's add auto layout. Let's add padding. 10 from the left, 10 from the right, 10 from the top for now. It's 14. Let's do a glass card. I'll change this from white. This for. Let's do shred. This one I'm gonna use 16, 60, 60. Let's add background blue. We already have here 60. Okay. We're gonna add stroke. Okay. Use 1. This one I'm gonna use 0. Let's change the label color to black. And this one's gonna be secondary. This one, let's change this to black. We're going to change to a call out. For this one, we're going to change the position. This number 29. This is gonna be label. This is gonna be black. It's gonna be bold call out. And this one's gonna be, let's say, 2.75 BTC. For this text style, let's choose regular caption 2. Go to Access panel. Select on local component. Choose Bitcoin chart. Then drag a new class card. Let's add auto layout. On the frame, I'm going to use hard contents. Alright, so let's duplicate this card. Those two, auto layout. Let's say 20 for now. Center. I want same spacing, 28. For this one, but first I'm going to change the text first. Okay, let's change this icon. This one I'm going to choose Ethereum icon. Let's use Ethereum icon. I'm going to change this tag for Ethereum icon. It's going to be ETH. Put on bold. Subheadline bold. For this one too. Alright, and this one too I'm going to change for this one. I'm going to change this for 10%. And this can be random. ETH. Alright. Oh, yeah. Alright. The reason I put red here, it's for negative, minus. It's going to be minus. And instead of green, we're going to use red. Alright. So now I can play with the position 20. Because this, I plan to do a scrolling horizontal. And now what we rest to do, it's add a tab bar here. I'm gonna need 5 buttons, 5 icons. For this button, I'm not going to use this one. We can search asset and search tab bar. As you can see, the tab bar, the height it's 83. So we already have the height 83. I'm just going to need to put my button here that I already create on my component. I'm just going to search for my icon here. Search for home. 16. I'm gonna press here for 18, and it's gonna be 14 from the top, because my top bar, I don't want a text below. I just need an icon. So let's duplicate this icon. I'm gonna change for cards. So I'm going to group them together and add auto layout. Spacing for 20 for now. This one I'm going to change for trade. Okay. And this one change for setting. This one I'm going to change for contact. Okay, I want 18 from the left and from the right. Now they have the same spacing, left and right, same spacing. And for this icon, I'm going to use space between. Organize this space for me. But I want to do a special button here in the center, just for this one. It's already created, so I just need to open the eye. And voila, and how we do this circle, this easy. It's the same technique as this button. You just need to add a shadow of 10 by 10 and blur 20, and you're gonna need a drop shadow white -10 and buff -10 and blur 20. I use white 100%. For this icon, let's change it to white. Search for label white. All right, this toolbar. Let's add auto layout. Okay, constraint. I'm gonna set it left and right, bottom. Then I'm gonna add auto layout. Fix size. Fix 83. Position from the bottom. This we're gonna change for fill container. When you move, it's moving. Now it's adaptive. All right. Okay. Do we have shadow? It's missing shadow. Add shadow. 10 -10. Oh, it's too much. -5. And here's going to be 20. Use this hex color 292782. The home button. I want to add the level. To this one, I want the same effect for this one, but without a circle. You can just copy property, paste here. It's just, I'm not going to use stroke. Now you see I have some button with some blur. I think we're done. We can add some background to make some nice presentation. Like this one I use for my background. I like to create everything from scratch. I like to use my own resource. For you guys, you don't need to create everything from scratch. You can go to Figma community. They have a lot of resources like background, shape, pattern, a 3D shape that you can use in your design that can be outstanding. There's also a plugin to create the background. So I'm just going to copy this background and paste it here. Let's move it from the back. This is how it looks like. Okay, I want to my button and my chevron to have the same alignment. So this button 16. So the button, they have space here. 16. Okay. This Let's use space between, yes. And this toolbar, I'm gonna use fix height 83 on the bottom. And now it's gonna be fill container, fix height. When it's alike here, this button here, okay, 16. Down for 16. It lacked the contrast. I will add white instead. Yeah, looks. Oh, I think we are done. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you learn new thing and useful. Remember to like my tutorial and subscribe if you have not yet. Thank you very much for watching. So see you on my next video.